Hello everyone, this is Borna Kazerani from Melbourne, Australia. I hope you're doing fine. And first of all, thank you so very much for all your lovely comments and messages regarding of my shows here on Instagram. And please forgive me if I'm not able to answer you back straight away. Anyways, today I want to talk to Mariana Gorbea, who was born and raised in Mexico City in 1985 and currently based in Vancouver, Canada. She's a self-taught artist and studied graphic design, but changed her major into digital, traditional sculpting of characters and creatures. After graduating from college, she started to develop an interest in 3D and decided to learn how to model and sculpt. After developing a sculpting portfolio, in 2014, she was hired by a visual effects company in Vancouver called Scanline VFX, where she's still working as a senior modeler. I would like to mention some of her achievements in this regard. Winner of 2 Emmys for outstanding visual effects for Game of Thrones Season 4 and Season 7, and winner of BAFTA of Visual Effects for Black Panther. Projects that Mariana has been a part of including Aquaman, Spider-Man, Far From Home, Batman vs Superman, Guardians of the Galaxy Vol. 2, among others. Now let me ask Mariana to join me for a conversation. Mariana! Hello, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Cold a little bit here in Melbourne. How's the weather in Vancouver?
It's getting warm, finally.
All right. Okay. So, first of all, thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate and admiring what you're doing. And would you like to say hi to those who are watching us now or maybe later on?
Sure. Hi, everybody from Vancouver. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching.
Okay. So, I'm really interested to know how you got into the sculpture field and achieved lots of success in such a short time. I'm more interested to know about the moment you said to yourself, that's it. That's what I want to do. Tell me about that.
Yeah. Well, after I finished college, I studied graphic design, and I took a trip to the Louvre, and I was just so blown away by the massive, beautiful sculptures that they have. And I never thought about sculpting really. Sculpting came after I decided to learn how to do 3D.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized that I could learn how to sculpt first digitally. I never thought I could do traditional sculpting because it seemed so hard. And in Mexico City, I couldn't find any classes or courses that taught how to sculpt. So it was more practical and cheaper to learn how to do it digitally. And after learning that, I understood how to sculpt digitally and understand forms and shapes and proportions. That gave me the confidence to start to learn traditionally.
Well, you've been doing perfect in such a short, like not such a short time, but you've been doing, I never seen any 3D sculptures in all my life. And you're the very first person. I've spoken with lots of sculptors here, professional one like you here around the world. And for me, it's I'm very, very interested to know the connection between what you're doing and your personality. What happened and why you've chosen to become a sculptor artist?
I don't know what. I'm just really interested in how to create something from scratch, and to be able to create, especially with my hands, it's very satisfying. Like I lost touch with creating since I was in elementary school, and of course we are all working digitally, but like there's some satisfaction that comes with like creating something and touching it and feeling it that I didn't realize I was missing it until I picked up the tools.
Okay, fair enough. So most of your work is about weird, and scary creatures.
Yeah.
Why are you interested in this theme for sculpture? And when you look at them closely, at each one of them is full of details that sometimes make you think none of them were made by hands because they look professional and extremely detailed. Tell me about that. Why you've chosen scary things like
Because I like dark topics. I find them more interesting than just, I don't know, that lighter themes. And maybe it has something to do with my personality. I don't know, but I just find it more.
Yeah, a lot of details actually, and it's fantastic. And when I was looking at them, I said, "Oh my God, how many hours she's spending to create each one of them?" So, are you one of those artists who can work on the same, like on a different multiple projects at the same time, or is it just one by one?
At work, it's usually one project at a time. But when I'm working on my own stuff, my own sculptures, like I usually work on, if I get bored, or sometimes you get so you think that you hit the like a barrier at a sculpture.
Mm-hmm.
So I start something else and then I go back to it once once I have new eyes.
Yeah, it's like a painters that, because I was working with lots of painters also, and most of them were saying like that they cannot just work and focus on one project or one project. They prefer like to do 2 or 3 at the same time. But I'm not much familiar with scallop like creating.
It's the same. Like sometimes I'll do something that takes me 3 weeks, and I cannot do it for 3 straight weeks just working on that. I don't have the patience for that, so I just think one smaller thing in the meantime and then go back to it.
Okay, sure. I would like to know about your I was amazed actually, and I would like to know about your collaboration with Game of Thrones projects and how did that happen? And I would like to also congratulating you because of you won 2 outstanding visual effects of Game of Thrones season 4 and season 7. So tell me about the whole thing. What happened and when it started and how did they find you?
Sure. So the studio that I work for was awarded those shows, and was one of the first shows when I moved to Canada, and I was hired by the studio. And it was just a complete dream come true because I was a fan of the series and a fan of the show. And then I that was one of the.
Well, how did it happen? So how did it happen?
So I didn't have a lot to do with it. It's just my company that got the project and was gonna work on it, and I was lucky enough to be a part of it and to be able to work with an amazing group of people. Like the team of modelers and animators. It was just. I had no experience when I like for season 4. I had just started in the industry and it was very scary. But
why scary?
It and because I had no idea what I was doing really. To learn really fast because of the level of quality that was expected of me. And then I think after that, yeah, we got season 7. Which was really like, it was the end of the show. It was like a super big deal just to in terms of quality and expectations. So, but it was super fulfilling to be a part of it. I didn't choose to be on that project. I was just lucky enough that my studio put me on that show, and it was really cool. The only difficult thing was that I knew exactly what was going to happen a year before it went on TV. So I had to, you cannot tell anything to anybody, you'll be in trouble. So that was the hard part. But it was amazing to see the result. I think it looked pretty cool.
And did you think that actually you were going to be nominated for the best visual effect artist for that show? Did you know that, or you were quite surprised?
It was surprising, but not so much, because I knew like what Game of Thrones did was just raise the expectations in terms of visual effects, and I knew like it was the scale was so massive for what we did, like one of the final battles, and it took us over a year to do that. So I knew like not a lot of TV shows have that schedule and that budget. So I know I was surprised, but not too much. Yeah.
Okay, so well done, well done. Okay, for the past almost 3 months or 2 months or so, I've spoken to a lot of skilled sculptors as well as contemporary artists around the world. And one of the common things that they've been complaining about is there is no media outlet that covers their works or talk to them about their works. Why is that? Why do you think there's not much like media are going to talk to you about the process? And people get very excited when I ask them for conversation or interview on my show, and it seems like it's a very common issue that there's not much media to cover like your works, talk to you. There's not much magazines. Why is that? Why like that?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think most people are focused now on the result and not so much on the process, which is it's the most important thing. It's just how do you get there? How do you achieve that result? I don't know why. Like what you're doing now and what you do with your show. Like I haven't seen a lot of that, and it's really.
I'm the only one on the planet that I'm doing this, because I thought that there were different like shows or something, but there's nothing like. No. And amazing artists, sculptors on the planet, and you're extremely creative, but there's not much coverage, like, you know what I mean? And when I want to find people to have a conversation with, I have to go to tag like sculptors or on Instagram. And when I find people like you, who, as I've said, like who's very talented, and when I contact them, they get very excited. And I get very excited too, because it's amazing. But I've been just wondering why there's nobody, talking to like people like you, because you're a hard worker, you're extremely talented. I'm just wondering why
there's not enough platforms for it. Well, at least like one really cool thing I like about Instagram is that you can share. It's very easy to share, and you can make stories, and you can self-promote very easily. But I don't know a lot of platforms where you can have these conversations.
Me too. Now let's change the atmosphere. Like, I want to ask you a favor to give us a tour and take us to your room and to your project you're doing. So there is an option, you can reverse the camera, and then there you go.
So these are some of the sculptures that I have at home. Some of the things that have survived because I'm running out of space, and I end up melting a lot of them.
Why?
Because I don't have space anymore, and I run out of clay as well. So.
Okay, I want you to go slowly on each one of them.
Sure.
About the story.
This is one of the first ones I made. It's a part of Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean. This was one of the first one as well. It's one of the sculptures that got me into trying to learn sculpting. It's a Nazgul that's falling down from Lord of the Rings. And just some
Rings. You were in the Lord of the Rings.
No. That is just based on a character from.
Can you closer? I want to see
sure.
the details. Wow.
And this one has a bit more.
Okay, just wait here.
And
oh wow.
And this one to do. And this one is Groot that I worked on Guardians of the Galaxy, so I felt like
the movie that you participated.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. Tell me about that character.
Groot. This was pretty cool. We didn't work on the character, this one for the movie. We did other things, but I thought it would be really fun to sculpt and just to try it out. It's a really cool, fun character. So like, oh yeah, well, that would be fun to sculpt. Give it a try. And some octopus. And it's a tiny dragon. And this is based on a sculpture that I saw in a cemetery. It's like dark and creepy. And it's another one from.
Oh wow! Look at that one. Can you move the camera closer?
And that one over there, I can't reach.
That's okay. That's okay. And you one is it skull? So down underneath. So if you
this one,
the one that with a cobra snake. So
oh, this one. Which was
it? Yes.
This one, some scales in there.
Wow.
And other things that.
Oh, we can. Is that the one that you put the you made the time lapse video?
Yes, yes. This is it. This is the one.
And it's quite new. Am I right?
I think it's like what was it, like 3 months old, I think. And this one I did it for my brother because it represents Aries, his zodiac sign. So I wanted to do this one for him.
Is this one completed yet?
No, no, not yet. No, it's missing the front yet, and I want to do some other decoration around. And this one's also.
Oh wow!
Another one. And these are the ones that I have left.
Wow! And you demolish them because you don't have a space.
Yeah. I don't know what to do with so many, so I just I melt them and make new ones.
Can you move the camera up actually a little bit up and what is that one? What's the one in the middle?
In the middle, this one?
Yeah.
It's a dragon sitting on a neck.
Wow. Wow. And two statues behind that, scallops behind.
Oh, those ones are I didn't make those ones. Those ones I bought for reference.
Okay. And where is your workplace? Where do you usually make them?
It's here. This is it. That's where I spend many hours. And this is like all my tools, or most of them.
Wow.
So yeah, this is the clay that I use, which is an oil-based clay that you have to heat up in order to mold. And
tell me more about that. What you're gonna do with them? Yeah, with that.
With this one,
yeah,
I think with this I'm gonna continue making the. I want to make roses for this one. Or maybe I'll continue working on a snake that I have somewhere. As you can see, I really like to do snakes. I really like patterns in nature, and that's why I like to make some like octopi and snakes. It's just like a visual representation of math in nature, which I find quite beautiful.
Wow. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. God, you're amazing. Oh, you're amazing. Well done. So we were talking about there's no media or media outlet to coverage the things, but I think social platforms like Facebook or Instagram helps artists around the world to show their works. But on the other hand, don't you think it makes people less interested to go to exhibitions for visiting that artist's works?
No, because you cannot compare like the experience of going to a museum or a show and just experiencing the work live. I mean, it's more accessible for sure, like to do it online, but I don't think that's ever gonna die. I hope it doesn't die, just that people want to go and experience the art in person.
Okay, yeah. And okay, tell me about how social platforms been helping or useful for artists like you.
Instagram for sure. It's been amazing. I've got to know so many artists that have been in touch with me or that I have just discovered that without Instagram I don't know how I would have done it. And I think this one is the most the one that has been most useful for me. There's websites for sculpting and digital sculpting also that like it's called ArtStation.
Yes, yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
The quality of the work that people have made, it's quite outstanding.
Absolutely. I've gotten lots of questions, so I prefer to read my questions first. And people's question came through. Tell me about, let me go through one of these questions first. Oh. The love what you were showing.
No, thank you.
We want to see more, so well that's what she's got right now. Where do you usually show your stuff? Where do you usually show, or if there's any upcoming exhibitions, or how do you present your work usually? Where's the places that you usually show your stuff, show your sculptures?
Sculptures, I was invited to one that was going to happen this summer, but that got canceled because of,
Corona.
I've heard of a virus that's going around, and but in person, like I usually just used Instagram to show whatever I do, everything, works in progress or finished sculpts. It's always through Instagram. I think that's the easiest yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna read another question. The newest ones came through. Okay, does the clay dry?
Yeah.
Stay soft, and tell us about that, please.
No, it hardens. Like it comes in 3 different levels of hardness, like soft, medium, and hard. You have to heat it up and warm it. Could be in the oven, in the microwave, and it softens, and it's manageable. Okay, I can show you.
Cool.
So, for example, right now, where is it? There we go. Right now, it's quite hard. Like, we're not super hard. This is medium It's called Monster Clay Medium. It's not sticky. It's kind of manageable. But if you warm it up, it's so much easier to handle. But after a while, after it gets cold, it hardens. But like this is not warm at all, but still you can manage it. But yeah, it softens when you warm it, and then it cools down and it hardens a little.
Okay.
Yeah. But it doesn't dry. It doesn't dry. It's oil based, but it's still like it won't crack or it won't get dry.
Okay. And okay. It's very much like my question. So it's like, okay, I'm going to read mine because very much like that. Okay. What is the first step for those who are interested to become a sculptor? I don't know much about that. I mean, it's like expensive field to start from, or like I think the question is very much like I'm interested to become a sculptor, so but I don't know where should I start from.
Where to start? I think a lot of it's observation. Just like for me, what it helped me just like spend hours and hours just looking at sculptures and trying to understand the form and proportion, and it's just really observe what's going on in the piece, and it's not it and to break it down into the main shapes and start to build from there. I don't think it's really expensive to do it. I thought it was, and that's why I didn't pick it up before. But you can get some tools on Amazon or some site. You can order some clay and just.
Is it better to start it in the academic way, or it's just self-taught, or?
Well, in my case, it was all self-taught, because I didn't know where or at that time I could to learn it, and it's a lot of practice, really. Like just sit down and spend hours and hours
just making
get better, just until you get better. It's not easy at the beginning. There's a learning curve, of course, but
sure. Hi, another sculptor here. What medium do you exhibit in?
Medium?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I don't understand. Also, I don't understand. So hi, another sculptor here. What medium do you exhibit in? I don't know. It's a little bit. I don't understand what's. Yeah. If you can explain more, I can probably ask her what you're interested to know. Well, the questions are coming. Okay. Material. Okay. And I have to read like say it again. So hi, another sculptor here. What material do you exhibit in?
Material. The material that I use, it's called Monster Clay, and it's just that's the brand and that's the type of clay, which I quite recommend because it's super easy to use.
Okay, again, the same person. Is that the Monster Clay plaster?
No, it's an oil-based clay plaster. It's a different kind of material. I haven't used plaster, but it's different than that.
I don't know what you're talking, guys, but I'm just reading the question. I'm not familiar. Okay, another question. What's the most challenging that you've been experiencing since you started? Since you started working as a sculptor.
Biggest challenge. Traditional or digital? Because it's
well, tell from like briefly from each.
The biggest challenge for traditional sculpting, it's to not be impatient, and because I realize how impatient I am when I'm doing it, and that it takes time, and it takes and just to have the discipline to keep going and not get frustrated, because it's super easy to get frustrated when you're learning. So, and I guess it applies for digital sculpting too. Like sometimes you think something is that you cannot do something, and that it's super challenging, but it's just practice, and you'll get there. But it's the tolerance for frustration. It's a big one.
Okay, so another question. There are lots of questions coming through. Hi, thank you very much for your show. It's amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. How do you usually protect your sculptures in a cold weather to not getting crack on or something like that?
It's just this type of clay that doesn't crack. That's what I really like it, because some other ones you have to be really careful, because after a while they dry up, and it's very, very hard to maintain them. But the ones that you saw, like they're like 5 years old, and because it's based it has oil, like it will never crack, so I don't have to protect it a lot.
Okay, I'm gonna read the last question. I'm just reading a new one. Can colors be added to the clay?
What it's usually done here, it's you create a mold. You create molds. I don't know if you're familiar with mold making. You create a mold out of the sculpture, and then you cast it, and then you can paint on top of it. But painting directly on the clay, it's not recommended. I mean, but you can do it, but just not on top of the clay. You create the mold.
Don't. Mariana, it was such a pleasure having you here on my live show. Thank you very much for accepting to have an interview with me. I really, really appreciate that. I really admire what you're doing, and I hope to see you one day in reality, and in Canada or here in Australia. So, did you? Sure. So, did you like our conversation?
I love it. I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much for inviting me. I think what you're doing is pretty cool, and I'm looking forward to seeing other interviews with other artists.
No problem, no problem. Okay, so I need to wrap up this conversation or this interview or whatever it's called. So, would you like to say goodbye to those for watching us now?
Hi, goodbye, everyone. Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed it and you learned something. And feel free to get in touch. Thank you very much.
Perfect. The question is still coming through, but if you want to find out more about Mariana, you can go to her page on Instagram and shoot your questions, and she'll be there. It was lovely seeing you, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right, take care, Mariana. Bye. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that for all your great comments and messages. And sorry that I didn't get a chance to go through to all the questions. I was talking to Mariana Gorbea. If you're interested to find out more, as I mentioned prior, you can go to her page and ask your questions. Thank you. I really appreciate that, and have an amazing day or night or evening or wherever you are, and keep your smile and take care. Bye-bye.